So this is a harsh reality, but you are what you eat. Hey, and welcome. This is Michelle Richards with Girl Vibes SMEP, and I'm happy you clicked on this video because we're about to get real. We're about to have a real conversation about food, health, and your body. This video is part of a new video series, Your Best Self. So be sure to click around and find others that you vibe with. The saying, you are what you eat, is so true. Not only do our food choices affect your shape or your figure, they affect your health, your energy, and your mental state of mind. Your physical health plays a large part in your mental and emotional health. It's critical that we find a balance, your balance. Not my balance, not your best friend's balance, but yours. So I really want to share my story with you. When I was around 11 years old, I was struggling. I was struggling to deal with a large range of emotions. I was not prepared to deal with them. Like most 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds, right? Our bodies are changing. We're going through hormones. We're having all these different emotions. We're facing different challenges and things in school or at home. I particularly was dealing with being molested, and my body was changing, and I was just felt alone and confused and scared. So I turned to food. And of course, it was all the wrong foods. I became an emotional eater. I would eat to temporarily make myself feel better. It made me feel comforted when I felt alone or lost. I would eat because I felt fat. I ate because I thought I was ugly. I ate because I felt alone. I ate because no one liked me. I was teased. I was bullied. I would come up with countless reasons to justify why I was going to eat that brownie, why I was going to eat that cookie. Um, Mine was always sugar related. So I liked cookies and sweets and brownies and cakes and ice cream. For some reason, it just made me feel comforted until, of course, that sugar high wore off. And then, of course, that was a whole nother story that I'm about to get into. But the problem is it was because of my eating choices, I was gaining more weight, right? So I felt tired. I was depressed all the time. My face broke out, and I started looking for validation in all of the wrong places. I started hanging out with the wrong group of friends. I was really living outside of my character and my morals because I just so desperately wanted to feel accepted. And it was a vicious, dangerous cycle. I had no self esteem, which then eventually led me to experiment with drugs and alcohol. I was looking to just numb the pain when the sugar high wore off. I remember feeling hopeless, and this cycle unfortunately went on for years and years until one day I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And the summer of my junior year in high school, I told myself that I didn't want to live like that anymore. I was tired of going to the swimming pool with all my really cute, skinny friends and all their cute little bikinis, and I was the friend with the t shirt on because I hated my body and I was just so embarrassed of it. I was tired of going shopping for clothes and never being able to wear what I liked because it just didn't fit me right. I was tired of all the boys that I liked asking my friends out on dates instead of me. I was tired of being bullied. I was tired of being teased and put down and just never feeling good enough. I was tired of never having any energy or having any interest in doing anything related to physical activity. In fact, I hated PE so much. I remember I remember pretending to feel sick or making up any type of excuse to just skip that period because I hated exercise. And I hated it because it was challenging for me. Like I was overweight. Um, I wasn't able to move like the other kids were able to move. I felt awkward when I was trying to do the things that they were asking us to do, and I just felt incredibly uncomfortable in my own skin. Everything was a challenge. I was tired of being lazy and I was tired of just sitting on the couch and wasting my life away. So I knew my addiction to food was going to be the hardest thing to stop because it was all around me. There was temptation everywhere. I remember it was summer, people were having barbecues, parties, and there was all these sweets and things around all the time. And that's when I started to truly understand the definition of discipline and what that meant and what it was required of me to truly start making some changes. So that's this summer that I really started understanding how powerful our minds are and how much control we actually have if we want something bad enough. One of like I guess one of the memories that stand out the very, very most throughout this time of my life was a very sad, sad time, but it was also it was defining moment for the rest of my life. And of course, in that moment, I had no idea how impactful it was actually going to be. But I remember standing in front of the mirror naked and I was disgusted with myself. It was hard to look at my body. It was hard to face myself. And it was harder to face myself knowing that no one else had put me in that position but me. And that I had to take responsibility for the first time over my life and over the way I looked. And I remember crying hysterically and just asking myself out loud, how did you do this to yourself? And having to accept that there was no one else to blame. Like, I'm the one that did it, and taking ownership in that moment, knowing that I was the only one that could fix it. And that was scary because I didn't feel strong enough in that moment that I was going to be able to do it and be able to make a change that I desperately wanted to. And so I didn't tell my friends, I didn't tell my family because I didn't want anyone to be more disappointed in me if I failed. So I just kind of told myself that I was going to make a change and that it was going to be hard, but in that moment I knew that I wanted that more than I wanted to see myself like that in the mirror ever again. I also knew that in order to save my life, it was all going to start with the different foods that I ate. So I started small. The first thing I did was I cut out soda. I was drinking between 1 to 3 per day. And back then I was drinking Diet Coke. And anything with the word diet in it was, oh, it's okay. Like, it was a great way to justify, like, it's the healthy kind of soda. Um, but it wasn't, and I knew the way it made me feel. Like, I knew the way it made me feel when I crashed, and it wasn't good for my body. It was so hard to cut out soda. I remember having really terrible headaches for about 2 weeks. And during those challenging days, I would be like, it's okay if I just have one, but thank goodness I was strong enough to talk myself out of that, and because I knew that if I did one, I would be back to right where I was. So I didn't give in, which was great, and I got through those first 2 weeks, and then I decided that I was going to cut out desserts. So anything that was really sweet that I loved, and that was really hard too, but it was easier than the soda because I had already been like, okay, I proved to myself that I can do this, and that felt good. The next thing I did was I started to eat slower, and I started paying attention to my body when it was full. Um, and I think the most exciting moment was when I lost 13 pounds in the first 30 days. I remember the energy I had and how all of a sudden, almost like overnight, I began to have a desire to exercise. What? Like, who knew exercise? Like I said, I hated to do anything physical. So the fact that I was even interested in trying to start new things, I knew that I was changing and that I was growing. And the great thing is it became easier. Like, I felt lighter, I had more energy, and I felt proud of myself for the first time in years. Therefore, I slowly started to become more confident. And by the time the middle of the next month came along, I no longer had any cravings or desire for any sugary foods, which was amazing. I started drinking more water, my mind felt sharp, my face began to clear up, and all of a sudden, who knew? I wanted to start keeping my room clean. My environment became way more important to me. As my body changed, my mindset began to change too. So then, as summer started nearing an end, I remember going school clothes shopping. And I remember buying this blue and white floral dress. I loved it. I remember I felt like it just was made for me and it fit me perfectly. I remember how proud I was when I put it on, and actually to see a waist on me that I hadn't seen in years just felt so good. I was glowing. The world just seemed different because I was different. I couldn't wait to go back to school. I was a new person with a new mind, a new body, and a new confidence. And girl, let me tell you, it looked good on me. Not just the dress, but the confidence looked good on me. And it felt even better that I wasn't doing it for anyone else. I was truly doing it for me. And I feel like that's why it was effective. I really wanted to share my story with you. You know, there were a lot of things that happened to me during my teenage years, a lot of things that I could have easily blamed for the reason that I was who I was and who I had become. You know, like I mentioned, I was molested and I was raped by 12 years old, and I was just confused. I was lost. I was scared. I didn't know how to process sexuality and what that meant for me. Um, but you know, that day that I finally took ownership over my life, when I was looking in the mirror feeling so shattered and so broken, I realized that if I didn't make a change, then my life would never change. That was the moment that everything changed for me. Now, of course, it's important that you guys understand I still encountered plenty of more trials and tribulations afterwards, just like the rest of us. And I've made countless more mistakes since then. And even now, I still am and always will be a work in progress. But that one decision that day, looking in the mirror, feeling the way I felt, just worthless and broken and lost and just overcome by negativity and depression, it really helped shape my mind and helped me begin to discover the power within, which has consistently been my roadmap when life begins to get tough. So, this video, though, is to remind you that you are what you eat. Your physical health is so much more than just the way you look on the outside. The food you put into your body is what fuels you from the inside. So be aware, be cautious. You deserve better. Food addiction is a slow suicide, and it leads to a lot of other health problems mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Like everything is truly tied together. We need to be a balanced individual. You have the power to change your life, but no one else controls what you put into your body but you. Gain self control over food and watch how quickly you gain control over the rest of your life. So start today. Start small. Think of one thing that you always eat or drink that is not good for you, and make a decision to stop putting it into your body. It's not going to be easy. But if you want it bad enough, you will win. I believe in you. Then make some more goals for yourself and slowly start working towards them. You can do it. You have the power to do anything. I'm telling you right now, looking back at that broken teenager, if I can do it, if I found the willpower within, each and every one of you, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what you look like, you have it in you. But it starts with you. And a great place to start, as far as physical activity goes, right now at home is with my sister Lisa Marie for the Girl Vibes fitness portion of your development to engage your body with your mind and your soul. Here at Girl Vibes, our mission is to help you discover your best self inside and out. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. We are dedicated to helping you grow and live your best life in all four of those areas. Why? because you deserve it. You deserve to live your best life. And we want to leave you with a roadmap that you can always come back to when life tries to throw you off course. So I'm sending you positive vibes today, tomorrow, and always. Be bold, be brave, but most of all, girl, just be you. Don't forget to comment below and tell us about your journey to living a healthier life. Click and subscribe to join this tribe. And I'm telling you, this is from the heart, from our heart to yours, to just share with you the things that I wish somebody would have shared with me so that I would have had that roadmap to fall back on. So I would have heard more relatable stories that I could have tried to apply to my own personal life. It's never too late. You're never too old. But I really just want you to understand that it starts with making a commitment to yourself and really understanding your self-worth. You're worth it. You deserve it. Go for it. Get it.